Okay, so I'm gonna like I have a towel on, but I'm gonna like act like I've got a parka on because it's fun. Look at how big my face is. I had one dude tell me that my face looks like a football, and he is kind of right. But I also saw an episode of Entourage where Turtle says to the that all the movie stars have big heads. So I like the fact that I have a big head, to be quite honest with you. I get used to be made fun of with having a big head for like all of high school. It was like traumatizing. Hey Julie. So okay, I'm gonna rip on debt. Debt. Jesus Christ, can we talk more about debt? 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 And I'm going to Hawaii tomorrow. Going to fucking Hawaii tomorrow. And I know, I have a towel on, so I wanted to make sure that I was very appropriate so that nobody gets offended. But, and I wanted to be proper. Okay, wait, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, debt. Now, the thing that I want to talk about, I love your green hair, by the way. The thing that I wanted to talk to you about here is like, how do you like really think, hey, Anna, how do you think about debt I know I do too. How do you think about debt? Hey, Sarah Doyle. I'm so inappropriate right now. I know. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii tomorrow. Okay, so debt. And I just want to emphasize this. Virtual boot camp. You want to learn how to manifest like a motherfucker? You want to learn how to be able to have the tools to manifest anything that you want? You want to really learn skills that, this sounds arrogant. You want to learn the skills that like has helped people make millions and millions of dollars, like a lot of people made millions of dollars, then I highly recommend understanding and getting in this virtual boot camp because it is the foundation. Like people have asked me what's the difference between your other stuff and this. It's the foundational skills of manifestation. And so I know everybody's like, well, like you use the law of attraction, you like figure out what you want and then you figure out your blocks and then you figure out how to release them. There's a lot more to it than that. And I think if we all got really honest with ourselves, we would manifest everything that we want if we really figured it was that simple. So we will go through all the processes and you will know exactly why you're not getting what you want, such as having the debt and why you keep creating the debt, and how to think about this is really, really important for the distinction. The reason I'm talking about debt is because the way that you think about debt is more important and will lead you to the way that you need to think about debt in order to get rid of it fast with ease and basically not have to pay anything for the debt. Okay? Or you'll barely feel like you're paying for it. And what's really going on and what you need to do to let go of it. So think of like the money boot camp as in, okay, you have this amount of debt because of this, and you need to do this, and this to understand it and to move through it. The virtual boot camp is understanding why you created the debt. Okay. What's really going on with your subconscious that's holding the debt in play, how to release it, and make sure that you never create debt again. And if you do for some weird reason, how to let go of it and release it like that, to where it not only you get rid of it like that, but you also increase your income dramatically because you've learned all the structures and the ways in which you use manifestation to manifest things, to skyrocket things, to create massive leaps in your income, in your life, to land the love of your life and all, lose 20 pounds, all this other stuff. So it's all the techniques of manifesting. There's been a lot of fucking success, and I didn't know if I was ever going to run this thing live. I haven't run it in over a year. If you want that information, I'll put the fucking outline in the comments. Now, debt. How do you think about debt when you're in a whole lot of shame about debt? Well, number one, you want to look at like, what is the big fucking deal about debt? What's the story behind it? Fuck the debt. It's not about the debt. It's never about the debt. It is never about the fucking debt. And it's the same goddamn cycles in terms of you creating what you're creating. It's the same goddamn thing. Same goddamn thing. So if you're creating debt, you're creating it by the laws of manifestation. My virtual bootcamp, March 20th. The laws of manifestation are creating your debt. So it's not about the debt. It's never about the thing that's being manifested. It's always about something underneath the surface. And understanding the laws of manifestation, which I teach in the virtual bootcamp, is basically like, okay, this is why this is happening. This is happening over here because this is happening over here. It's one of the reasons why I call myself a mindset strategist. It's because it's all fucking mindset strategy. And so with debt, you're dealing with something that's like fucking with your head because you've got this story and this thing that's going on and the collective consciousness that's going on. And so you're like, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there. And so you're like, well, how do I get rid of this? 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 And you're constantly in the state of how do I get rid of this? How do I get rid of this? How do I get rid of this? And so you can't ever fucking get rid of it. So you have to stay in a place of not actually manifesting. Let me reword that. You have to stand in a place of not having it. And so if you're standing in a place of not having it, but that's still being fucking activated, it's just creating it more and more and more. So hopefully you can understand the distinction between looking at the debt and looking at the whole practice and focus of the fucking like techniques and stuff like that of the manifestation, which is the virtual bootcamp. Okay. So how do you look at this? You need to know the stories as to why you think this way about debt. You need to understand the techniques to stop yourself from thinking that way and how you're supposed to think in like, I don't want to say in comparison, in the different tone. You have to look at, because like I went through this whole journaling process that I'll take you guys through in terms of debt that I'll create in the, as a bonus. Cause yeah, this is a good bonus. Is that like there's certain specifics. I'm trying to think of how to describe this. Your internal dialogue about debt is different across the board. Everybody's is different. It can be something like, I can't believe I have this debt. I can't believe I owe this money. I can never get ahead. I can never be truly wealthy. I'm, screwed here. And I was so irresponsible with money. And look at all the negative things that are going on around money. So it makes it very hard for you to feel positive about making money. Therefore, it can't manifest. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to let this go. And it's still going there and it's still actually there. So how do you release that to where you can pay it off? What are the things that you need to know? So it's kind of like, and you have to do that on a day-to-day, moment-by-moment basis. And so if you're dealing with something that's driving you fucking crazy and you're giving it all this attention, there are certain things that are at play, and I'll do another live stream tonight or tomorrow that really talks about like what's really going on here. And it's a little thing called victim mindset that I go into extensively in the virtual bootcamp. I don't go into it in the money bootcamp. And that's one of the reasons why I was like, I need to run this virtual bootcamp, because there's things that are missing from the money bootcamp in terms of understanding the laws of manifestation, the 6 steps of manifestation. And one of them is victim mindset. I'll coach you through it, but you don't know as much like specifics in terms of victim mindset. And there's a lot that goes into it. And if you want to learn more, the first thing that I'll tell you to do is go to YouTube and type in victim mentality, and you'll start to get an idea. It's a phase of like, you don't want to get out of the debt. You don't want the wealth. You don't want to actually grow. So, and on a deeper level. It's not saying that you consciously don't want to. And so, just trying to think. And it's also like an obsession. Because like I've had clients, and you guys like I can't tell you how many fucking people are so goddamn obsessed about their fucking debt. It's like, Jesus, will you fucking take a goddamn Percocet or something? I'm kidding. But I heard that in some movie I watched lately. I can't remember which one, but they said Percocet. I don't even know what the fuck a Percocet is. And I don't recommend you taking a medication or anything like that. I was joking. But like, look at how, if you're dealing with debt, look at your obsessive thinking about debt. Because obsessive thinking is never really about what it is. It's about something totally different. It's about shit that's way underneath the surface. And those things that are way underneath the surface, you can just make the decision to let go. You can. But are you going to? I've said this in the Money Boot Camp a lot, that you can, but sometimes you think that you can't, so you struggle to. And so there's certain techniques and things that you can do, which again isn't my virtual boot camp. So let's look at this. Okay, so give me a little bit of internal dialogue if any of you can make a comment, or if you can, because I got 12 minutes before I've got a phone call. Does anybody have any internal dialogue that they want to talk about in terms of debt that I can kind of work off of? If not, I might hop off. My hair feels like it's like my roots are like, my hair is dark. Darkety dark. It's dark. I just noticed that this morning. So the obsessive thinking, I'll say this really quick. You got to look at either if you're obsessed about having debt, or if you're obsessed about like, oh, it's no big deal. Oh, it's no big deal. Oh, it's no big deal. How do you think about it? Because debt is negative. It's shit you owe. And you're like, duh, Molly, I get it. But it's like, actually, you need to think about what's the obsession. I keep saying obsession. Like, I had a client who said, there's a difference between like really, really wanting something and being really excited, and obsession. And obsession is like, it depends on who the person is and what the situation is, but obsession is a form of control and a form of, I don't want to let this go, so I'm not going to, for whatever reason. Hey, Heidi. My debt is small, but feel guilty and heavy that I messed up having it. Okay, right there. Point, boom. Thank you, Julie. If you're upset or you feel bad that you manifested it, well, guess what? You're going to feel like anytime you manifest money, you're going to feel guilty about manifesting money. It's the same shit pretty much across the board. And so the people, because people have been asking what's the difference between the money boot camp and the virtual boot camp. The money, the energy cords behind this is what you learn how to deal with. Okay. So and by the way, if you've been in the Money Boot Camp, you get a discount for the virtual. And if you've been in the virtual, you can get a discount for this one. But I'm running it live, and there's going to be a lot of stuff in there. 2 coaching calls, 2 one-on-one coaching calls, not one-on-one coaching calls, group one-on-one coaching calls, as in like, each one who's on the line, I'm limiting this boot camp to it's a small amount of people. I haven't decided what the limit is, but I'll energetically tap into it. But each one gets one-on-one coaching on the coaching calls. I don't get off the call until everybody's gone through with one-on-one coaching. What was I saying? I can't remember the fuck. Oh yeah. So my debt is small, but I feel guilty and heavy that I messed up having it. Okay. So if any kind of connection you have towards money, you're going to feel guilty and bad about having it. So it's like, oh my God, I'm feeling all this guilt. And guilt, it took me a while to understand what guilt was, but guilt is that you're doing something bad. So if you're doing something bad, then in other words, there's also deserving shit tapped into there. So how do you let go of deserving shit? Well, deserving shit is kind of the same, like there's energetic cords at place that are like, if I don't believe that I deserve something, obviously I'm not going to get it. So what do you need to do in order to get past deservingness? Well, you need to understand that there's probably something that you're holding on to, which is kind of goes back to victim mindset. So I need to do a live stream on that. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Tracy. So with that in mind, I have like 9 minutes until I do a call. I'm going to Hawaii tomorrow. And if you guys are interested in the virtual boot camp, I will put the outline in the comments. And if you want to come to Miami, Hawaii to see me and do an intensive, feel free to email me at mollymsap@gmail.com. Surprise visit to Hawaii. I've never been there before, so I'm excited. And I'm going to finish packing and email you guys to my list. If you're not on my email list, go to mollysap.com/manifest-fast. Lots of love. Gotta go. Mwah. Bye.